go and you detach, you get more. Let go of the attachments. Devoid of attachments. Let go of the attachments. Expectations of outcomes toward control, and control is not acting with a himsa. We want to control everything, right? Let me give you an example. Really, really close to my heart example. A year ago, I was in the market, or no, about a year and a half ago, I was in the market for a new car, right? I had a little Lexus, I had a baby Lexus, and it was sort of acting up, and so I wanted to get a new car. But for the longest time, I wanted to get a new car because it was acting up, right? Because it was going to break down, and I didn't want it to break down, and because of that, and so I called a friend of mine who was who's a Mercedes dealer. I called him and I said, okay, what can you offer me? And there was nothing. But I really wanted this car. And I said, I need to have it, and it has to have all of this, and blah, blah, blah. And he says, I don't think it's going to work. I mean, I can't get you that price. You want that price, you want this, you want that. So it wasn't working. That was in about April, and I kept saying, God, this car's going to break down. I swear this car's, I need a new one, I need a new one. And I was in the wanting, I was expecting it. I wanted it so bad that I was in the lack. Does that make sense? Finally, I went to the dealer, and he looked at me and he says, can't be done. Can't be done. That was in June. I was like, dang. So I was really upset and everything. But then I let it go. I just let it go. I just figured, okay, well, ni modo. If the car breaks down, I'll have to fix it, ni modo. If the new car comes, this is what I want. I want this, and I want it to have this, and I want it to have that. But hey, if it doesn't come, doesn't come. Ni modo. I'll just keep driving what I'm driving. In September, that was about June. In September, I get a phone call. I get a phone call from the dealer, and he says, hey, Marty, you still in for the car? And I go, yeah, you got it? And he says, yeah, I think I got exactly what you want. I go, serious? And he says, yeah. And I go, And he goes, He goes, take a drive, come up here, and come see me, and we'll see what we can do. I said, I'm not driving all the way up to, because it's way over there in, I think, Capistrano or somewhere over there. Newport Beach. I said, I'm not driving all the way up to Newport Beach to find out that I can't have something. He says, oh, there you go, trying to control everything. And he was like, oh. So I said, okay. I said, let me know when you want to go, when you want me to go. So on September 10th, notice what's my favorite number? On September 10th, 10/10 of 10, he calls me up and he says, it's here. I said, you've got to be kidding. He says, come see me. So I jump in the car. Sure enough, I go see him. There it is. Exactly as I wanted it. I said, oh my gosh. He goes, are you ready to turn in? Hand me the keys. So I traded keys with him, drove off the lot. I had the car. But what happened was I let go of the attachment. I let go of, I was not in the wanting anymore. I wanted it, but I was okay if it didn't come or it came. Do you see that? And if you're there, then you just are open to it, and I was open to it. Okay? So that's what, when you act with modesty, you put out, you have to be careful not to get stuck in the feeling of wanting, but be in the feeling of being content. And that's what I was. I was content with what I had. I was content to have what I had, and I still liked the fact that I knew that at some point I was going to get it. I just knew it, right? It just had all the factors and everything had to line up. But as soon as I let go of the control issue of wanting it, when I wanted it, how I wanted it, exactly when I wanted to get it, it didn't happen. And that's what happens to us. Right? So, and we experience this with our boyfriends, right? You want something, you want it when you want it how you want it, and if he doesn't give it to you, then you're really pissed off. Yes or no? Well, you're never going to get it when you're putting that out, right? Because you're putting out the wrong feeling. You're emoting. That's when you got to get into the modesty. It would be nice if, and then let it go. And if you don't get it, it's okay. You're not going to die. You're still going to be here. You're not going to end up in the hospital, right? But no, and especially women, right? Women. We've got to have it. It's got to be there when we want it, at the time we want it, exactly how we want it, and exactly the way we want it. Not only do we want something from him, we want him to say the right words that go with it. Yes? Smile. Oh, yes. and 9 times out of 10 we don't get it, do we? No, we end up being disappointed, and then we mope around going like this. And then he says, "What's wrong?" And you say, "You should know." And it's like, the poor guy, right? The poor guy is like walking around thinking, what did I do? I don't even know what I did or I didn't do. Poor, they're in limbo. But we know that, And it's that expectation, that wanting to control, because you're not acting in ahimsa. You're not acting with santosa. You're not in modesty. You're not in acceptance. Right? So you're never going to get what you want if you walk around in the lack and in the non-acceptance. Right? So that's what this niyama teaches us. Right? And how does that play out in our mat? It plays out in our mat in letting go of the expectation of what my yoga is supposed to look like. But being in total acceptance of how your body is working today. Right? So many times we get on our mat and we start to do, let's say we start to do the Virabhadrasana series. And for some reason today your legs are not going down as deep as before. But your expectation is that, wait a minute, last week when I did it, I was able to do this and I was able to do it better. Why can't I do it now? And then you push. And you expect it to be the same way. And that's how it plays out. Take the modesty to accept your body exactly as it is. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to practice that on our mat. Because that what you practice on our mat becomes real. And that's what you practice outside. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. Let's get up and let's